Okay, like there is so much going on, and I am trying to make a video. I've made like 3 or 4 of these, and I haven't posted any of them. Well, I guess I've posted some videos, but it's been a while, and I don't know if I'll go back and post them. One had to do with like relational shifts, moving. Another one had to do with changing my money mindsets. And it's really funny because if I had posted the one from a couple weeks ago that was like, I feel like my money mindsets are changing and I'm having limiting beliefs switch, and how because of limiting beliefs I haven't been able to like not bring in more money, but in a way you're stopping it. My current thing that I'm personally on, and I'm kind of having this like, I'm not really sure how to feel about all this, is about, okay, so I love Jesus, and I, have chosen to do missions or, not get married. And when I say not get married, I don't mean like I didn't want to get married. Like I don't really do relationships or mess around with men or do that kind of stuff. When I was in a relationship, we still didn't sleep together, and I'm not trying to do things the world's way. And if I wasn't a Christian, yeah, I'd totally be doing things the world's way. But because of my faith, there's things that I choose not to participate in that if I was not a Christian, I would totally participate in, because, follow that flesh. But then at the same time, I look at my life and I'm like, well, I still follow my flesh in certain areas. And I'm trying to really go forward, but I have this question that's been going through my mind because I don't even know how it started. How did it start? It had to do with but basically it's kind of like the New Age movement. Like I've reached out to a couple different friends asking them questions, and I had somebody point me to another YouTuber who used to be heavy into the New Age, and then he has this whole testimony on there about how God has really, basically he had an encounter with God and it totally changed things. But as he was sharing like how he has seen the New Age show up in the church, I think that's coming back to me because I'm pretty sure like in my earlier videos, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fan of yoga. And my reason that I'm not a fan of yoga is because Jesus is God. God is like, I am holy. And there are places where it says he does not want to be worshiped at the high places. And so like godly kings would tear down the high places. And it's like, I think people would go and they would worship God in places that had already been set aside for idols. So where people had once worshiped Baal, now they're worshiping God. And, you go back and like when God was like, no, you're going to take like stone that's never been cut. I feel like I should have the scriptures so that I can back this up. Maybe I can go back, make this video with like, and he says it here and it says it there. But but holy had to do with being set apart like no other. He does not want his name in there with other gods. Like he's alone. And so I'd be like, yeah, so yoga was like something, the poses and stuff like that. It's like Hindu and, Eastern religion, and it, you're doing poses when you're doing yoga. And so I was like anti-yoga. And recently when I've been listening to some of this about how New Age has infiltrated the charismatic church in some places, there's this, oh snap, because I learned it in the church, right? Like I can be super strong about yoga, but wait a minute, am I following after New Age practices in the church? Because I learned it in the church, I'm following them, and didn't realize it. So this has me like on a completely different trajectory. It all started with a conversation I had with a friend a couple nights ago. I'm really grateful that she had it, because she was like, okay, so why are you kind of going down this path? Why are you kind of searching out this way of doing things? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, press into it. So I started to press into it. She's like, when you get to like 14 or so, you're going to know, and it's going to be deep. And so I realized a huge reason why I'm like, I need to, I need to have more qualifications. Like if I'm going to be a coach, like I was starting to binge watch. I mean, they're kind of new age people, and I'm like, but they teach really good things. And it's like, well, then maybe if I have more qualifications and more ways of doing this, then I can, like, oh my gosh, even just saying this, I can almost feel myself like crack up, because it's like, I don't believe me and Jesus are enough. I totally would have never said that. But when it came down to it, I'm like, I want to be able to bring the best to people. And sometimes it feels like I'm not enough. Like, I have battled that feeling of feeling like I'm not enough. And I'm like, but I know God, when God shows up, but I can't, you know, like, you can't always make God flow through you, right? I mean, he's always in me, but it's like, I just guess when God shows up, when I'm praying for somebody or when I'm speaking with somebody, it's so good. But when I haven't felt his presence, I'm like, or I put my foot in my mouth. So I think I was starting to search for other ways and other answers of how I could be more effective. And even, I could go into certain things, but a part of me doesn't want to put it out there at this particular point. I mean, I have no problem being transparent about stuff, but I think a little bit had to do with, what the heck. So one of the areas that got confronted was like inner healing. And I was like a huge advocate because I want to see people emotionally, healed. I hate seeing people stuck and going after the same thing. And I would get confronted about that. And I'm like, no, because I know God shows up. But I was listening to something the other day, a teaching the other day, and they're anti what I did. And the question came, am I doing that where I'm taking something that is, I'm probably not making sense, but I'm still posting this because I need to post a video. But it's kind of like, am I taking something that is, the only way I've been taught it is in the church. Okay. So I've not learned any of this, but like when I was like listening to coaching videos and they're spiritual, like I noticed that like, they teach some of the exact same things. I'm confused. Why are they teaching some of the same things? And when I was listening to this preacher teach, like, he's anti-inner healing, I guess what went through my mind was like, have I done the same thing as yoga, where I've taken a teaching, but because I learned it in the church, I'm like, hey, this is good. And like wrapped it with Jesus. And kind of hope Adrian does not watch this video. Don't watch this video. But I guess I'm wondering that, not just with that, but I went back and listened to, teachings I so quickly took because it was like, they were where I was. And it's like, okay, that's true. That's not totally biblical. But it was like, I have been around people who've been so into the Bible that it seemed like the Spirit was lacking. And it's like, okay, but I don't see the love of God. I don't see the fruit of the Spirit. I just, it's like, okay, you got knowledge, but nobody's getting healed. Nobody's getting, you don't see that stuff. And over here, you see that stuff. And I know that this is like a jumbled mess, but it's like, this is kind of where my brain is like, so basically I'm just praying for truth. I'm praying that truth is revealed. And I notice that as I do, it's like even trying to like become an entrepreneur or to like become financially, like I want to be financially where I can offer something. See, I'm crying almost because with that friend, when she was going through 14 through 19, it's like, I felt like, I love following God and I'm okay that I'm not somebody made to make tons of money. But sometimes I feel like that's not okay from an outside perspective of like, I should have more to give away. And, anyways, that's it. Sorry about that. But I realize like there is that attack of like, well, I should, you know, have a normal career, and I don't feel called to have a normal career, but I do want to be a life coach, but I really just want to see people set free, and I don't care that much about making tons of money. Anyways, don't mean to back, but anyhow, like even as I like search this out, when I'm like, who are the people I'm jealous of? I'm jealous of people who are traveling and they're going out and they're doing ministry. I'm not jealous of people who live in big houses, and I'm not jealous of people who, you know, have these beautiful house and beautiful children and go to like beautiful cars. Like that doesn't get me jealous. But when I see people travel and I see people go places and I see people make a difference, yeah, that's what gets me. And I mean, I think it's kind of like sometimes realizing you're not supposed to be like other people is a hard realization, because other people can look at, I don't want to feel like I'm just a gypsy, so to speak, where, you know, you go from place to place and I want to kind of feel rooted, but that's not what I dream about. And I don't know, it's like all over the page, but I know like I want truth. And I know that really what I'm super honest with myself, like trying to go out and make money doesn't really feel like me. I mean, I still want to be able to, you know, make money to support myself, but like, I'm like, I'm going to figure out this kingdom entrepreneurship. I am going to figure out all these things. But it's not like, if God opens the door for me to make money, that's fine. But chasing after trying to figure out how to do it just feels, well, I was excited about it last couple weeks ago, but as I'm like, no, I'm getting off. Like this friend was like, you're getting off. And it's like, why am I getting off? And it's like, because I want to prove myself. I want to prove that I can do something. And I want to feel like I have something to offer the world. And I mean, not like the whole world. Like I don't have that much like, whoo, I'm that amazing. It's just that you want to influence and make a difference. I want to influence and make a difference. I want to know that I can make a difference in people's lives. Like that's payment. That's totally payment. But it's just this weird. So yeah, all this video to say, like, these are like my brain travel thoughts. And I'm wondering, maybe you guys have thought that way too. Maybe you guys have like, okay, is this God or is this like getting off? But I know that like, but I'm having experiences and I'm having feelings to back it up. Okay, so why are these people having these experiences and there's no Jesus? Okay, but they're having experiences and things back it up. Okay, I don't know. I mean, this probably sounds weird, but like my brain is like, I don't know. So it's kind of like this, wanting to understand truth. And this reality is like, when I want to understand truth, I realize like, I don't really want to chase after being an entrepreneur. Weird. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to post this video because I need to post a video, and I'm moving. That's kind of weird. My relationship status changed. That's kind of something. And I guess my job's gonna change. Basically every year of my life is about ready to so hopefully I'll have more on that. Sorry I cried. Have a good day.